Good morning, everybody. This is my country, the UK. And very often in Hong Kong, I hear people say, oh, next year I'm going on holiday to the UK. I'm really looking forward to it. And many people have a very romantic impression of my country. When they think of the UK, they think of something beautiful, like London, the Big Ben and the Tower and the Houses of Parliament. Or maybe they think of this, the Tower of London, where the Queen's crown is kept. Or maybe they think of this very old building here, Stonehenge, thousands of years old. Or maybe even where the Queen lives, Buckingham Palace. And my hometown is in the north of England, in a place called York. And this is a very historical tourist city. And it has beautiful old buildings like this church called the Minster. Beautiful buildings. It has a castle, very, very old from Viking times. It has beautiful scenery like this river view. Or these old houses here, very historic. Lots of tourists come to my hometown, York. So I think you'd agree that many people have a very romantic, very idealistic view of my country. Beautiful shopping in York. But today, I want to talk to you about something not so pleasant, not so nice. Something about the underbelly of the UK. When you go to my hometown York, at the end of the day, when people leave the streets, go home for their dinner, and everything's very quiet, then certain people come out at that time. Who comes out? The homeless. People with nowhere to live. They come out and they look for a place to sleep, look for a place to stay. And every year, I go back to my hometown York, and I become more and more disturbed by how many homeless people I see on the street of my hometown, York. It's getting worse and worse. And today, that's my topic. Yesterday was World Homeless Day, a day when we think about this problem, and we try and think of ways to solve this problem. So I want to talk to you about the homeless today. And it's a very important topic because even 2 days ago on the BBC website, it had this report that at least 449 homeless people died in the past year in my country. So my country has a romantic side, it also has a lot of problems, and this is one of them. Why do people become homeless? Why do people have nowhere to live? I think some of you may know some of the answers to this. First of all, they lose their job, they become unemployed, and they have no family, no friends to help them. Maybe they can't get any benefits from the government because they haven't paid enough tax. Some people are underemployed. They have a job, but the job doesn't pay enough, so they can't afford a house, or food, or clothing on their job. Some people have mental illness. They can't get work because they have some problems with their mind. Some people spend all their money on drugs or alcohol, and that means, again, they can't afford to buy a house. Some people are new to the country. They've just arrived in the UK. They have no friends, no family, no job, no place to stay. So temporarily, they are homeless. And finally, some young people, they are running away from home. Maybe there's problems with their family. They can't stand it, they can't take it, and they run away. Now, when you are homeless, what problems do you face? I would say you face 1,001 different problems. Some problems are physical. For example, food. How do you eat? Where do you get your next meal? You know where your next meal will come from. You have money. You know at lunchtime you will have your lunchbox, or you will go to the canteen. Homeless people don't know this. They have no idea where their next food will come from. Where do you sleep? How do you get rest? You have no bed. How do you clean yourself? Keep up your hygiene? How do you make sure you can wash your hair, wash your body? And of course, health problems. If you're living outside with no food and no cleanliness, you develop some illnesses and diseases. But apart from the physical problems, there are also mental problems, problems of the mind. For example, tension. What do I mean by tension? I mean you can never relax. Your body is always tense, is always worrying about something. You face danger. People may attack you, people may abuse you, people may shout at you, people may spit at you. And you face stigma and shame. You are embarrassed. You are ashamed of being homeless, of having nowhere to live. And this leads to a loss of dignity. You do not believe in yourself. You do not think you are human. Now, I have a surprise for you. Many, many, many years ago, Mr. Groves was homeless. I had no home. I had nowhere to live. When I was a university student, I was homeless for 48 hours. This was something we tried as university students. We wanted to experience what it was like to be homeless. So, me and my friends, we agreed to give up our money, give up our keys, give up everything we had, and go and be homeless for 48 hours. And I can tell you, it was one of the most frightening things I have ever done. And out of all these problems, can you imagine which problems I found the worst? For me, it was sleep and tension. For food, I knew after 48 hours I would get food again. And I knew I would get a bath again after 48 hours. But when you sleep, you can never relax as a homeless person. Your ear is always open because you are always listening for danger. You can never fully fall asleep. Now imagine you are homeless, not for 48 hours, but for weeks or months or years. How do you get rest? How do you relax? How do you sleep? It's a big problem. Now, I would like to share with you, not today, but on the school e-server, 2 videos about homelessness and what people are doing to help this problem. One is about food banks, and I'm not going to show you the video now, but you can see it on the e-server. And many people are collecting food to give to the homeless, but more than food, they are giving themselves. They're giving their time, and they're giving their ear, and they are listening to the homeless. Because remember, homeless have a lack of dignity. Nobody listens to them. So these food banks, they collect food, they give the food to the homeless, but they also listen to their problems and try to help. And there are 428 food banks in the UK, 40,000 volunteers are working at the food banks, and they collected 11,175 tons of food last year. Now, what kind of food do they give to the homeless? Mostly, it is tins, because tins last longer. Tins of beans, tins of sweet corn, tins of soup, healthy food, tins of tuna fish, packets of cereals. These are all healthy foods, but they also give treats, for example, chocolate or cakes. This is food that the homeless don't need, but it's food that can give the homeless some dignity, to make them feel that they are worth a little gift. But surprisingly, food banks say, more than food, they actually need toiletries, things like toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoo and soap, because these are things that are very expensive for homeless people and which they rarely receive. Another video I'm going to share on the e-server is about somebody who gives not their food or their money, but their talent to help the homeless. And this is a hairdresser. Hairdresser is somebody who cuts your hair. And this guy has started a movement in the UK called Do Something for Nothing, hashtag Do Something for Nothing, because he can cut people's hair for nothing. So he goes onto the street and he cuts homeless people's hair. Now you may say, what does that matter? But look at the difference. The homeless people get somebody touching them for the first time in weeks. That makes a difference. They feel human contact. And the difference is big. Look on the left, homeless man, no place to shower, no place to wash, no place to cut his hair. On the right, he looks human again. He looks dignified. He's got his dignity back. Okay, from wild man to a human being. And some people, they can't cut hair, but they can draw pictures. So some people are going onto the streets and drawing pictures of the homeless people. And this is a gift to the homeless people because it shows they have been seen. They have been noticed. Somebody has watched them and somebody has given them a picture. Now, that's my country. I share this to show you that my country is not just a romantic place, but also has problems. What about Hong Kong? Any homeless people here? Have you seen any homeless in Tin Shui Park? Or sleeping in the doorway of Park and Shop? Not really. Hong Kong is a rich city. We don't have a lot of homeless. It's like London. It's a tourist city. It's very rich. But they do exist. If you go looking, If you look under the bridges of, say, Wan Chai or Causeway Bay, you will find homeless people in Hong Kong too. They're there, we see them, we walk past them. Now, in the videos that I will share with you on the e-server, the hairdresser has a quote. He says, "You're not too young to do something, you're not too young to make a difference. Everybody can do something. Be a champion for the needy in your community." So what can you do? A couple of ideas for you. There is an organisation in Hong Kong called the St. James's Settlement. It's based in Sheung Wan on Hong Kong Island, and they are a food bank. They collect food for needy people in Hong Kong. Not just the homeless, but the poor, for example, the elderly. And then they have many offices all around Hong Kong. This is an example in Kowloon West. It's a people's food bank, a place where poor people, homeless people, can get something to eat. And it's called a kindness centre. So you can find out more about St. James's Settlement on their website, on their Facebook page, and you could maybe see if you could find a way to raise money for them, to donate something to them, to work for them. This is something you could do. So, on World Homeless Day, yesterday, we have the question for ourselves. What could we do for someone less fortunate than ourselves? And my stress here is less fortunate. Maybe you think, oh, my life is difficult. I have study, I have my parents, I have lots of problems. But remember, all of us, we have a home, we have a bed, we have food, we have TV, we have air conditioning, we have heaters, we have showers. We are already fortunate. What can we do for somebody less fortunate? And maybe there is somebody in this school who is less fortunate. Maybe one of your friends is less fortunate than you. Could you help your friend in some way? It's something I think we should think about. Why should I care? Why should I care about this topic? There is a saying in English, and I'll finish with this. There, but by the grace of God, go I. There, but by the grace of God, go I. What does that mean? It means this could happen easily and suddenly to us too. We get ill, we lose our job, we lose our money, we lose our home. It can happen to us very quickly. So I think we should care. It's part of our common humanity. So, something for you to think about on World Homeless Day. And I will put 2 videos about food banks and the hairdresser for the homeless on the school's e-server, and I encourage you to look at them. The English is very clear, the speaking is very clear, and I think you would learn something very worthwhile by watching these videos. Thank you very much.